Welcome to Grumpy John's Garage. Today we're going to do the steering arm. I've already done the other side. That's what's left of it. That's the clamps that I've got the new nuts for. That's the track rod ends that come out. They don't feel loose, so they're not too bad. They're quite tight, but I've got new ones anyway. So first thing we've got to do is get the clamp off. Clamp here and the clamp there, and the dodgy bolt. So how I done it, I just wedged it in the middle, opened it up a wee bit so that it's loose. And it's out, as long as it's out the way, it'll be fine. Just trying to get the junk out of the threads there. Now that that's done, what you have to do is open this up a wee bit. I'm just giving it a wee shock, that's all. Do it on both sides. I'm just using a blunt chisel. It's an old bolster chisel that I cut down years and years ago. Used to use this on Morris Minors, doing floors. It's just blunt and it's fantastic for shaping. Right, next thing, rather than the nuts and the washers, springs. A wee bit of lube. Let that soak in a wee bit. Now for a wee bit of heat. And we'll see if that moves. Well, I'm not trying to get it glowing red hot. I just want a wee bit of heat in there. There we go. Let's see if it's going the right way. You've got one left hand and you've got one right hand thread. Coming out there nicely. It's cold today. Cold and it's damp and it's dull outside. And I think I overdone it at the weekend. If you see my video showing you the stuff that I blasted, I think I overdone it at the weekend. It was the setting up of getting the cabinet, because it's been up top in my loft there for basically since I came here, and to get it set up, then get the sandblasting equipment set up, and then get all the bits and pieces together and then do it. And it's just, I think I overdone it, especially on a Saturday. I'm still a bit achy. There we go, that's one off. Let's get some heat. Oh wow. Is that tightening? Number 2. Not a lot of rubbish coming out the bottom of it. It's hot. And there we go. That's it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to paint them. My tea's gone cold. So we've got the arm, got the clamps, got the new track rod ends, new bolts. I figured out which one's which. Oh, not forgetting the clamp first. Try to remember which way they go. At least the threads are good. The threads are not damaged and the tubes are not bent. So I'm going to put them in equally. I'm not going to tighten anything now. I'm just keep putting it all together to that's it. One of the grease nipples is missing. It might have fallen out. That's it all together now. Once it's painted, etch prime it. I'll cover up the threads and take the clamps off and paint them separate. And then once it's all ready to go into the Jeep, I'll clamp it all together. It's going to look really good. Now I'm going to get on to get this one done. I'll get this one done the same as this so it's all together. You can see on this one here, the lines. That looks as if someone's had a shifter on there, adjusting it. These ones are older ones. I've had these for years. Maybe a wee bit of lube. There. Oh. I don't have any thread taps that big that I can clean the threads out with. I just have to do it this way. There's another way I could do it. Don't like that. I would prefer that to go in a bit easier. You can hear it binding. Oh, that's better. That's just need taking back a bit every now and again. That's far enough. Well, that's the 2 steering arms with the track rod ends in them, just to try them out. Next thing to do is strip it all back down again and paint the bits, and then I'll come back and I'll finish this video off and we'll see how good looking they are. I think they're going to look good. Plus, what I'll have to do, I'll have to look in the service manual for the steering. It's not like an up-to-date car that you've got toe in, toe out. The wheels are straight. That's how it drives. Next bit will be them painted, and we'll build them up. While I was making a cup of tea, I thought I'd get my manual out. This is just one of the many I have. This one here does the TM9, and it does the 803, the 1803A and 1803B. So it's got 3 different manuals in one. That's why it's so thick. Now the one I'm looking at is that one. It is the 1803B. In that, it's got a picture of the front end with a set of tracking gauges. What you've got is the tracking gauges. They're probably set to a certain distance. And you've got a chain. Now this chain is a certain length. So when you sit the gauges on it, the chain just barely touches the ground. So that gives you the height of where the gauges are supposed to sit. Then, if you go to the next page, it tells you, after the tie rods have been equalised, pull the vehicle forward at least 3 feet to remove the backlash. So what that is if you have had the wheel jacked up, it's a possibility that maybe the tyres come down and it's just slightly off. It's not quite straight. So when you pull it forward, it straightens up and the rubber levels off. Then it says, place the gauges between the wheels at the front of the axle so that both chains of the gauge barely touch the floor. Set the scale so that the pointer registers 0. I guess there is it is adjustable. Pull the vehicle forward until the gauge is brought to the back position. So the gauge is basically out onto the wheels, and then as you push it forward, it goes back the way. Is that what it's saying? Pull the vehicle forward so that the gauge is brought to the back. Yeah. So what that's saying is that the gauges are basically right up against the tyre, so that when you push the vehicle forward, they're going to go back the way. And then it's saying into the back position of the axle, so both chains are barely touching the floor. So as the gauge goes back underneath, right down the bottom and then under, that tells you the wheel, that the front and the rear are level. That's basically what it's saying. So what you do, start off putting the gauges up the front, the chains drop down onto it, just touching the floor, push it forward, and the gauges go up to the back with the chains just barely touching the ground. Then it's telling you to adjust the right hand tie rod until toe in of a 1/16 of an inch is obtained. That's not much. So basically, yeah. So it's got a slight 1/16 of an inch toe in. I doubt it's going to matter anyway. Tighten the tie rod clamps. There we go. I've learned something. Hopefully you've learned something. Next video, as I say, is going to be with the tie rods painted. Hopefully get them built up onto the Jeep. I've still got to do the hubs. I've not done them. I'm just kind of, I think they're going to be a bit of a pain to do. So, and my brother's busy. So if you haven't got it, this is a good book here. It's got everything in it. Carburetors and what have I got tagged in it? front diff, how to do the front diff. There we go. And back side of the drum. So tell me which side the brake pads go on. That was that bit, to keep a note of it. And the other one is rear axle. Just tell me the rear axle, what the poundage is for the big nut. I don't mind this one getting dirty. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.